So this is a review video of the readiness assessment test that we took in class on lecture 1.1 that you did individually and you did as a team. And I want to go over it with you, and it's a good idea if you're missing some information, maybe you can gather some more. So let's get started. We're going to convert 2,340 centimeters and we're going to convert them into meters. I'm going to use the abbreviation here. Don't worry if you get the abbreviation wrong. It's really the process I'm after. Now, the question is, how does centimeters relate with meters? Well, centimeter, centa, as we realized, means 1/100th of something. Meter is the unit of length, the SI unit, so therefore it's that one we're talking about. So centa is 1/100th, and the meter would be the 1. Now, if you want to use your reference tables, there's a table we can go to that will tell you centa, table B, table C, is 10 to the negative 3. Meter would be 1. 10 to the negative 2, sorry. I do make mistakes, I am tall. So 10 to the negative 2 would equal 1/100th. So a centimeter and a meter differ by 100, by 2 of these exponents. Now, if you don't like that, you can use your mnemonic. Now, there's many ways to remember this, but the way that I remember is King Henry died drinking cat milk. Now, it's not my weird way of doing things. The suffix of the SI unit would go here, and that's meter. And this is centi, this is milli, this is deci, so this is 1/10th, 1/100th, 1,000th of something, and that something goes right there. This is 10 of that, this is 100 of that, and kilo is 1,000 of that. Now sometimes they'll use exponents. That's 10 to the 3, 10 to the 2, 10 to the 1. Okay, this of course would be 10 to the 0, which is 1. 1/10th is 10 to the negative 1. Notice the decimal place, something smaller than 1 gets a negative exponent. 10 to the negative 2, and then 10 to the negative 3. Well, you don't have to do all of that because we're going to go from centimeter and we're going to move to meter. So it's 2 leaps, and every leap, if you notice, is a 10th or a 0 in this decimal scale, which is something called the metric system, which is based on a base 10 system. So getting back to the problem, knowing that a meter and a decimeter differ by 100, okay, whether you know the suffix or by that mnemonic, I know that I have to get rid of centimeter. So using the factor label method, I know people are hating this method, but you're responsible. I want to get rid of centimeter, so centimeter goes on the bottom. It's the unit that I have, I'm going to get rid of it. So meter goes on top. So I'm going to cancel out my centimeters. And what's the difference? Well, I know for every 1 meter, there's 100 centimeters. They differ by 100. And how do I know to put that there? How do I know the 100 doesn't go for the meter? Well, my friends in chemistry, the what? Smaller number, which is the 1, goes with the bigger unit. Meter is bigger than a centi. The bigger number goes with the smaller unit. So in any case, doing the math, 2,340 times 1, then divide by 100, gives me 23.40 meters. And your answer has to have a unit. A number without a unit makes no sense. That's why A is not the answer and B is. If you give me 23.4, that could be any unit. We work so hard to do this to make it into meters. Numbers without units are dimensionless. Okay, they don't tell us something about a unit. Okay, so that's how that goes. And this is the work that we're responsible. You don't need these green arrows. Number 2, we'll work a little faster now. We're starting with their numbers, 689 kilometers. And I want to go to meters. Okay, well, I'm going to times it by a converting factor. Okay, I want to get rid of kilometers, so where does it go? It goes on the bottom. I want what? Meters on top, because that's the unit I want. The unit given times the unit you want over the unit given. The reason why I set this up this way is so that kilometers will cancel and I'm left with the unit I want. It really takes the thought process out of this. Now the question is, how does a kilometer differ by a meter? Well, King Henry died drinking cat milk. Of course, this is where the meter would go. And a kilometer differs by 1,000 times. By the way, kilo in your reference table, table C, tells you it's 10 to the 3, which is equal to 3 zeros. 1,000. So it's 1,000 meters. Okay. Well, great, but it's 1,000 to 1. Who gets the 1? Well, meter compared to a kilometer is 1,000 of the meters, so this is bigger. So he gets the smallest number. Meter is smaller, so he gets the bigger number. It takes 1,000 meters to make a kilometer. And all I'm doing now is 689 times 1,000 gives me 689,000 put up meters. And that in your key was choice D. It was supposed to not be there with the extra 0 and supposed to be choice E. But for those that are taking this year, this is the correct answer. Okay? And that's why that works. Now, understand something. If you don't still are fighting me with this method, and I'm sure you are, look at your finished product. Look at this right here. This is 689. I want to convert it into a smaller unit. Shouldn't the number get bigger? A meter is smaller than a kilometer by 1,000 times, so it should need a lot more of them to equal the same distance, since this is a unit of length. So the unit got smaller, the number gets bigger by 3 decimal places. Okay, we're trying to use the units to understand how this works. Number 3. Please convert 137 to liters. So write the number given. 137 milliliters. Got to put the unit next to the number. Got to get used to that. We're times by a converting factor, and we're going to liters. Going to get rid of milliliters, so where does the milliliter unit go? Top or bottom? Of course the bottom. Liter goes on top. It's the unit you want. How does a milli different from a liter? Milli, and this is in reference table C, is equal to 10 to the negative 3. That means it's what? 1,000th of the unit we're talking about. Well, we're not talking about a meter anymore. King Henry died drinking cat milk. That unit we're talking about is liter now. It's the SI unit for volume. So compared to this 1, milli is 3 movements away, or 1,000. So who's bigger? Well, of course the liter is bigger. Bigger by 1,000. So he gets the smaller number. And a milliliter takes a lot more of them to equal a liter. Remember, this really means 1 liter equals 1,000 milliliters. That's what this ratio that we just talked about equals. Okay? Bigger unit, smaller number. Differ by 3 leaps, 3 zeros. Okay, the smaller numbers go this way, or the smaller units go this way, and the bigger units are this way. Okay? Any case, I'm taking 137. I know I set this up right. My milliliters cancel. I times by 1. And I divide it by 1,000, and I get 0.137. You say, where did the 0 come from? It's just kind of a polite way of writing a number smaller than 1 to put a 0 point, so don't get crazy about that. And of course, that is choice C. Okay, moving forward and quicker maybe. 4, same thing. We write the number as written, 3.56 grams. Guess what? We're going to get rid of grams. We want what? We want milligrams. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of grams, so grams go on the bottom, milligrams go on top. How does a milli differ than a gram? Well, a gram, go back to your mnemonic, king, no, I'll go back over here, why not? Let's be crazy and go back. Instead of having a liter right here, or a liter right into this motion right here, let's erase that because that's kind of confusing. So instead of having a liter fitting in this box, we would have a gram. That's the unit of mass. That's 1. And we can have a kilogram and a milligram. So gram is the 1 now. Okay? So milli means 1,000th of that one thing. That single unit is a gram. So it's a small unit, so you need a lot of them. In fact, you need 1,000 of them. That's what a milli means for every one of these. Grams cancel because grams go on the bottom, and you're multiplying this across and dividing by 1, and what you get is 3, 5, 6, 0, and that, my friends, is your answer. Of course, you have to include the unit, okay? 3560 milligrams. That's why C is the answer. Last question. They just wanted a setup. So what setup works best if I want to convert 1.89 meters, which I'd write first, which every choice has, and I want to convert it to centimeters. Centimeters are what I want this to equal. So all of these would have to equal centimeters. Well, don't I have to cancel out the meters? So don't the meters have to be on top here and on the bottom to cancel out? So this one cancels. This one, meters over centimeters, do not cancel. That does not work. And choice C doesn't work. Meters would not cancel because it's not top and bottom. Remember, the reason why it cancels is meter over meter would equal 1. No unit. To get rid of the unit, you've got to put it over itself. Okay? And of course, D could work because you've got meter over meter. So it looks like to me it's between D and A. B and C don't make any sense because you wouldn't even cancel them out. So, all right, so we're canceling out the meters, so A and D are possibilities. Now it's about the number. How does a centimeter differ from a meter? Centi means 100th, right? It's a smaller unit. If it's a smaller unit, shouldn't it have a bigger number? And it does. So A has the bigger number with the smaller unit. It has the meter, the bigger unit, with the smaller number, and they differ by 100. So A looks like to be the answer. Let's check out D before we move on. This cancels well, but meter is a bigger unit. It should have a smaller number. That's why the 100 should be above, and this would not give you the right answer. So A is the best choice. Hope that helped.